In continuation to the previous video, here we will be considering the nested scope with the let constructor. So as we have seen in the previous video, we will be using more than one let constructs. And the first let construct, you need to check the parenthesis, it is closed here, and the second let construct, it closes here. So here more than one value, it is being assigned to x variable 2 and 7. So while executing this statement, which variable will be used, that we need to check. So here, as we have seen, in case of let construct, variable will be assigned first before the binding. So here x plus y, in this case x will be taking the value that is already bounded. Okay, so that is, it will be taking the value outside this let construct. So x plus y, it is within a let construct. Outside this let construct, what is the value that is being assigned to variable x and y, that will be taken if we are making use of this let constructor. Okay, so in this case, x will be taking the value as 2 and y will be taking the value as 3. Then after performing the addition operation, you will be getting the result as 5, and then performs the multiplication operation. So in this case, star z x. Z will be the computed value that is obtained in the in this let construct, and x will be the value that is bound outside. That is, here let construct is closed here. So outside means it will be taking this, outside means this let it will be taking. Okay, so here x will not be taking the value as 2, it will be taking the value as 7. So here 5 z will be the value 5 and x will be the value 7. Multiplying it, you will be getting the result as 35. Then in order to take the value, if you want to, here in this case z is equal to x plus y, in this case instead of taking the value as 2, if you need to take the value as 7, means instead of let, you need to make use of let star construct you need to make use of if you need to take the value of x as 7. Then so one problem with let is that initial values are computed before any of the variables become bound. So this doesn't work. Here it will be see here it will be showing some error. If in this example it will be showing the error. Why? Because this let construct, it is closing over here. Here it will be closing. So inside this, y is equal to x plus 1, some computation is being done. So here x will not be taking the value as 3. So why? Because x is not being bound. Outside, outer the let scope, you need to take the value of the variable that is defined outside this let. So it is not defined, or it is not initialized outside the let construct. So you won't be able, no value is initialized for this x. So here, in order to take the value 3, you need to make use of let star, in which here x will be taking the value as 3 and 3 plus 1 will be equal to 4. Here again x will be taking the value as 3, y will be 4, giving the result as 7. Let star construct in which name become visible one at a time, so that later one can make use of earlier ones, but not vice versa. So later ones will be used. Each initial value expression can use the previous binding. Special syntax is like let star variable initialization followed with the expression. It is similar to let, but it differs in the case of binding. Bindings are performed sequentially from left to right, and region of binding is that part of the let star expression to the right of the binding. So it will, region of binding means it will be belonging to the same scope. In case of let, it goes to the outer scope. So what will be the result here? X will be taking the value, in this case x will be taking the this x will be taking the value 7, y will be 3, because y here inside this let scope, y is not defined, so it will be going to the outer scope. So you will be getting the result as 10. So z will be 10, x again the value that is given in the previous scope, that is 7. So 10 into 7 will be equal to 70. Then nested scope with letrec. Letrec provides a way in which names become visible all at once at the end of the declaration and supports the creation of recursive functions. So this main purpose of letrec is it helps in creating the recursive function. So syntax is like letrec within bracket you need to specify the variables initialization and then followed with the expression. So how it is being used? Letrec, that is a name keyword, name of the function you need to place followed with the expression. So this name will be initialized to some value, that is a lambda construct will be used, lambda expression will be used. Lambda of n, if n is equal to 1, returns 1, else perform the multiplication like taking the values n and fact of n minus 1. So if the expression is given as fact 5 means after checking 5 will be given as a parameter to the lambda expression. It checks the value, performs 5 into fact of 5 minus 1, that again it returns a fact of 4. Again it performs the calculation given as lambda expression, it will be taking the parameter 4, checks again 5 into 4 into fact of n minus 1, like that it continues till the value is equal to 1. Towards the end, what it does, it gives the last value, that is 120. So it helps in, letrec helps in computing the or creating the recursive functions. So in this case, initializations are evaluated in a particular order in which each variable is assigned to the result of the corresponding init. Expressions are evaluated sequentially in the extended environment and value of the last expression is given for display. Then control flow constructor. Two different control flow constructs are used. Two-way selector using the if constructor, in which it will be taking as 3 parameters. It will be having 3 parameters, a predicate expression, then followed with a then expression and an else expression. Syntax is if some expression, that is a predicate, then expression, else expression. For example, if this is the condition that will be checked, greater than 5 2. So what does it do? 5 greater than 2, then expression is displays s, else displays no. So what is the value that will be returned for this expression? It will be returning the value as s. Another one expression, it will be computing some result. If 5 is greater than 2, it performs this operation, else it will be performing the subtraction operation. So in this case, it will be returning the addition operation, that is 7. Value will be 7. This is a case for two-way selector. That is either true case or the false case. In next is the case of multiple selector. It will be based on mathematical conditional expression and it takes a special form COND. Okay, so there will be more than one cases as if we were using nested else if statements. So we make use of COND. In the previous case we made use of if. In this case, the scheme interpreter, it will be making use of COND. If a COND is encountered, interpreter means that it will be having a multiple conditions, and from multiple conditions different expressions need to be evaluated. So predicates of the parameters are evaluated one at a time from first until one that evaluates to true. So condition followed with predicate 1, some condition followed with expression, again condition, expression, like that it goes on. Finally, if no conditions is being satisfied, it moves to the else part, expression. If none of the predicates are true, then there is an else, its expression is evaluated and value will be returned. So for example, in case example for this multiple selector, define compare xy. So this is the name, compare xy. What is the statement that need to be done? Condition, whether the xy is greater than y, it is displaying the result x is greater than y. Again, so if it encounters the word COND, interpreter understands that it is a multiple selector case. So next is like x less than y. So it will be displaying the result y is greater than x. If both of these conditions they are not true, means it moves to the else part, x and y are equal. So if the statement is given like this, compare 5 compare 5 to, like that it is given, means it will be checking 5 and 2 whether it is it will be telling that it is greater. If is 5 less than 2 means it is less, else equals. So what is the result that will be obtained? 5 is greater. So this much will be related to the control flow constructs. Next is related in scheme, the list functions. We make use of 3 functions, CAR, CDR and CONS. In CAR, it takes a list parameter, returns the first element of the list. So how the list, so list will be like you will be specifying the values within the parenthesis using this symbol. Okay, so CAR, like this, if you give, means what it will be returning? It will be returning the first element, that is A. It will be yielding A. So if you are giving like this, means what does it means? This is a single entity and this C, D. So first parameter is, first element of the list is AB. CAR, this expression, it will be returning the result as AB. It will be yielding the result AB. Next is CDR. It takes a list parameter. It will be taking a list parameter, returns the list after removing its first element. So in this case, CDR, this list, this expression, if it is given, means it will be giving BC as the result. That is, it removes the first element. So if it is given like this, means after removing AB, what is the result? CD. It will be yielding CD. Then cons constructs the list. CONS, it constructs the list. How? It takes 2 parameters, first of which can be either it will be an atom or a list, and the second will be a list. These 2 parameters, it will be combined and it will be returning a new list that includes the first parameter as its first element and second parameter as the remainder of its list. So considering the example, CONS, first parameter can be either an atom or a list. But second parameter, it will be a list, it won't be an atom. Atom means a single element. Okay, so in this case, A is a single element followed with a list BC. So what it will be returning? It will be returning a list with the first element as A and second and third element as BC, concatenating. Okay. Then 3 basic list operations as we have seen earlier: CAR, CDR, CONS. CAR, head of the list. CDR, it returns the list after removing the head. Cons will be like